Bingies, welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network, where the premise of our show is that we will binge watch an entire television series to let you know if you should. I am Johnny Randolph, one of your co-hosts, and I've got three dope-ass co-hosts with me. My first co-host is the new from the Ville. He's a cool guy. Yo, Rakai, son, tell him who you are, man.
Hello, Governor.
And my next co-host, right? You know, you've been seeing her recently. It's like I used to say when my people would come over to the house, they say, if you come over one time, you're a visitor. You come over twice, you family. So she's family now. What's up, Daylight? Say what's up to the people, man.
What's up? What's up? Aloha.
And our next co-host, you've never seen her before, so we're going to give her a chance to introduce herself. Let's call it Daniels. Let the people know who you are.
Hey, listen, I am a lover and fanatic of movies and sci-fi. I grew up on Creature Feature and Kung Fu Theater and cleaning up the Al Green. So get ready.
All right. Hey, so we love that type of attitude here at the Geekish Network. And tonight we are going to be reviewing. I was about to say Amazon Prime Videos, Wheel of Time Season 2. There are 8 episodes with a runtime of about an hour and 8 minutes. And when I say an hour and 8 minutes, they use up every single minute of that hour and 8 minutes. The premise of this series is though Rand thought he destroyed the Dark One, evil is not gone from the world. Threats new and very old seek out the young friends from the two rivers, now scattered all over the world. The woman who found and guided them is now powerless to help, so they must find other sources of strength in each other or themselves in the light and the dark. The way our show works is at the beginning of it, we rate it based on our unique binge-worthy scale. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to my technical director, Rodney. How did everybody rate Wheel of Time Season 2? All right, so we got some diversity here. All right, I like it. What's that? We got mini meal, full binge out.
2 full binge outs.
Yeah, 2 full binge outs. And then we got a full meal. So that's a total of 17 and 4. So that's a 4 to 5. So if we round it, that'll give us a full meal, a solid full meal. All right. And I do want to say before we proceed any further, shouts out to our other co-hosts, normally Chuck Babb. He's away on business. And Miss Courtney Scott Wright. She's away on business too. So shouts out to them, and they'll be back next week. All right. Now, Rakai, I'm going to start with you, sir. We have a lot of fantasy television series out there. You know, we've got House of Dragons, The Witcher, Lord of the Rings. You know, a lot of them out there. So how do you think season 2 compares to the other fantasy genre shows that we have out?
I don't know if that's a fair comparison. Only because so you got House of Dragons, which is picking up off of Game of Thrones, so you have a built-in audience. You have you have already a cooked and built-in audience. Even for those of us, that didn't necessarily enjoy House of Dragons that much, but we still gave it a chance. We watched all the episodes based on what we thought Game of Thrones was. Lord of the Rings, kind of same thing, built-in audience. The Witcher, built-in audience with witchcraft. So Wheel of Time is something completely different. If you haven't read the books, this is a brand new IP to you. So I will say that I enjoyed season 2 much better than season 1. I understand season 1 was setting up the entire world and setting up the lore and giving you those familiar hints, but things that were different so that you bought into the characters, you bought into the world, you bought into the conflict. But it dragged to me. So season 2 started off a little slow, but it picked up and I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Okay, so you enjoyed it. That's good stuff. So we're going to transition over to you, Daylight. World building, it is important for any sort of fantasy show. Give me your take on how you thought the overall show looked and the special effects and how those influenced your rating.
Thanks for that question. I definitely enjoyed the way that they built out this world. I mean, I had to binge all of season 1 in order to get to the season 2 to binge season 2.
You were busy this week, right? Yeah,
season 1. A lot. So I definitely was paying attention to all of the world building. I think what I was struck by immediately from the season 1 build that carried over into season 2 was when we're first in Two Rivers and they go in the bar and it's all women in power, and just the way in which they build this world, this universe where women have power. And we get to see a kind of displacement that we don't see here in our contemporary US context. So I thought building that world out, I think also building out the world that we get to when we end up with all of the in the final episodes of this season, where we're in the, I forget where it's called, but where everybody has either the collar or they're the
Farm.
yeah,
Farm.
Farm. Thank you. It's Farm. when we get to Falm, I think really seeing and understanding Falm and trying to piece that together from, oh, these people with masks and long fingernails. It was the first time I felt like there was just some really interesting world building pieces connected to costumes and connected to just the way that they showed hierarchy, not only in Falm, but throughout this universe. So I definitely feel like once I was able to kind of lock into it, I was able to understand, and I didn't need to know all the backstory. I didn't need to know all the book stuff. I was letting it unfold.
Can I
go ahead.
throw something in right there?
All right, Ricardo.
I agree with everything Daylight said, and I think the one thing that kind of lacked for me, I don't need all the backstory and 1,000 pages of whatever they say, but I really wish that kind of like you said, they introduced so many new factions and stuff in season 2 that I wish we got a little bit more of what was why these people conflict, because like when the your
like
boy
the white cloaks.
Perrin, like when Perrin was looking for everyone else, and he ran into the girl who was in the cage, who was an Aiel, but the Aiel had like a epic war with the Aes Sedai. Okay, so what is that whole thing? And then you got these new people, the Shan, and then the White Cloaks. I was like, okay, there's a lot of people here. I'm having a hard time keeping up who's with who and why they at war with each other. Like, you can't just throw a bunch of stuff at us like that and just expect us to know. I mean, I guess if you read the book, you would know, but I don't know. That was kind of hard to keep up with. It was interesting, but it was hard to keep up with.
That influenced my rating. Because season 1, I know you guys talked about it a little bit. I loved season 1 because kind of what Daylight said, like you walked into the bar and you saw all these women and like they had wars, and then you saw the political functions going on with they're all jockeying for power, but they're supporting each other. And then what was it? The red group, like they're like, no, we don't even mess with men. We, like you had all these, and that was the part of the world that I enjoyed. And then I thought, to Rakaz's point, in season 2, they introduced like it seemed like every other scene, a new character with different motivations were popping up. And I was like, wait a minute, y'all, buy me dinner before you try to get in bed with me. Like, let's slow it down a little bit, right? Let's slow it down a little bit. And so that actually influenced my rating. I was on the cusp between full meal and mini meal. I was like, I want to see what my co-hosts have to say. And let's see if maybe they will influence me to push it up. Because I was right there. I just like that world that we got to in season 1. So I'm going to turn to you, caller, real quickly. So, ma'am, what did you think about the quality of the acting for season 2? The entire cast.
I listen, they played them parts, baby. Listen. Gwen and dang it, what was her name? The one that came to the other female.
Nynaeve.
Yeah. Baby. Yeah. Them sisters got some scrimph, okay? Because they took some stuff that would have broken some folks and just turned it around and shut it down. The person that was the weakest acting was the real evil guy. Like, bro, you kind of weak up in this piece. You all up in your feels about, trying to get this stuff done. And look, was y'all a menage, you old girl and Luz? Because you just kept making everything about Luz. I'm telling you, bruh, I'm not Luz. What's the deal? Why are you tripping? I'm not him. What? And then the chick with the fingernails and whatnot, I'm just like, how was no one watching these machinations behind the scenes? And then all of a sudden, bruh just pop up and they're just like, well, where did you come from? We're not gonna get a story behind it? And I'm just like, you just kind of like, but there was some great acting pieces that bruh with the wolf eyes, he was doing the dang thing. The girl coming out the cave, she was like, hey, can you dance? Well, let's get it on, baby. And it was just pulling it in. But when she got her butt whooped because she wasn't there when old girl died, I was like, dang. I did have to look down. She took that whooping and Cable got up and still kicked some butt. So there was really some really great acting, but where the person that really should have been taking it to the head, he was kind of all emotional and in his feelings.
And we're gonna talk about that a little later. I got some thoughts and questions that I wanted to ask you guys about our villain in general. But let's Tristan. So Rakai, in this story, as you alluded to a little earlier, said we've got a lot of storylines, right? Some of them overlapped and some of them didn't. So from you, I want to get your expert opinion, good sir. What did you think about the quality of the writing for this season?
Okay, so since this is coming from books, from what I understand, and I have not read the books. So, but what I understand was that they were pulling pieces from several different books to craft this story. And to me, if the books were a hit, if the books were what inspired you to want to put this series together, why would you do that? I don't understand. It's kind of like when He Who Shall Not Be Named made the Avatar movie, and we was like, dude, you took a perfect animated, you know what I'm saying, series and destroyed it. Why? Just follow what they did in the cartoon to make it live action, and we good to go. Like, so them pulling stuff from all over the place, this was really convoluted, and just some stuff it didn't explain to people's motivations or why they did stuff, like for instance, the Red Aja, when she turned up to be Leandrin, when she turned up to be a traitor for her son, but then old girl Selena, the Forsaken chick, released of that. It's like, you done wasted, you done betrayed everybody you known and everything for what? Like, that didn't even make any sense to me. It's like, so I don't know. There was several things in here that I was like, listen, I'm going along with it, but listen, give me my pen and paper. I could have wrote some stuff better than this, because it just didn't make no whole lot of sense.
Right.
I want to talk about that. Can I pick it back off of that?
Go ahead.
Because that seemed like you wanted it to be an arc of, this is, they took something so precious from me, and then I have this child, and I would do anything for this child, even though I am older than he is, but I'm aging extremely slowly. So this man is in here dying, and you're keeping him from what he needs, which is death. And then you're doing all this crazy mess, and old girl rolls in and be like, he in the way, click, click. And then you just jump up and be like, all right.
Well, to me, it happened so quickly. There wasn't a lot of setup for her or background with having a kid or anything. It was like, it was kind of mentioned, and then you see the old man, and then you see the scene that Carla's referring to. Again, and from what I read, similar to what Rakai said, they didn't take book by book. They were kind of just pulling things from every book that's out there. Like, we take one from book 8 and we put it here. We take one from book 3 and we put it here. And it did. It kind of made the message of it convoluted. Too many characters and kind of too different. And nothing was kind of resolved at the end.
Well, even like this particular scene that we're talking about, here's the thing that I don't like about shows where they discount our intelligence. So this whole scene with Leandra and her son, listen, we watch other shows. We know about vampires. We know about elves. Like, they outlive everybody. Right. We saw that in you know what I'm saying? We knew the old girl, the princess, was going to outlive Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. We knew that. Every vampire has, the vampires that are kind of nice vampires with feelings, they done outlived everybody they've ever loved. We get that. So to this particular scene didn't make any sense, because I didn't understand what was her motivation. Like, what is your motivation for betraying everybody and doing all the stuff you've done? Now you serving the Dark One for what purpose? Like, are you transforming your son into a Forsaken so he can live longer? Like, is he gonna become young again? And y'all, you know what I'm saying, for what?
He ended up,
and the old girl came along and killed him in seconds. Like, and she's like, all right, well, I'm cool. Like, what?
And just like something that only women can get to other women. Just when women go around killing kids, their friends' kids. Like, I don't.
Girl, Ray Ray is getting on my nerves.
Right.
Don't take it back.
Right. I don't remember that. You know, I've been
That's
around a lot of women in my life, but
I don't know. Well, you don't watch the news. Remember, there's several of them women that put their kids in the car and took a drive down to the lake.
well, we ain't gonna even we ain't even go there. We ain't gonna go there. So, Dana, let's start with you. So, at the end of season 1, we see that Moraine, she's lost her ability to channel the one power. Season 2 picks up right after that. What do you think about this decision for the overall narrative of the series?
I mean, I thought that was interesting to give this character who, I mean, literally in that first episode of season 1, we see her powers save them from the Trollocs.
Right.
Or, you know, the orcs, you know, however you want to call them. And so I thought it was interesting to watch her journey without. But then there were moments where it kind of got annoying because her whole storyline with Lan, it was like, so what's going on? Like, you guys were like in a hot tub in season 1 having all this connection, and then we find out, oh no, you're really in a relationship with the Admiral seat, and there's all this backstory, so we get to learn, and there's some change that happened, but what was the change? What was the event? And so I found myself, I will say Moraine was one of the harder characters for me. I felt like her struggle to hold it all together, I felt like Lan. I felt like, why am I here? I actually was like, I don't care what's going on with her. I really care more about these 5. Like, that's who I'm here for. I'm here for the squad. Even Matt and his whole messery of like not being able to walk through the gate and then having a whole, you know, like I thought his arc was interesting. So with Moraine, I think watching it then play out with her sister and then the turn with the nephew was really interesting. So I get why they tried that arc. I get that it was a new way to have one of our heroines of the story have an obstacle that she had to try to resolve. But at a certain point, I just was like, I felt like Lan. I was like, why should we care about you? He needs to go pair with somebody else. You know, Nynaeve needs to go and become she already needs to get initiated so he can be her warder, and they can just have their resolution of, as you know, whatever their feelings are for each other. So it was rough, I will say, for me. She was one of my lead. And then once she got restored and he figured it out and she got unknotted, I liked her a lot better because she wasn't. And I was like, oh, I'm reacting to her trauma reaction. Okay. All right. Okay. I can find real world application in that. Like, I don't like you acting all hurt because stuff has changed for you and you don't. And so it just kind of made me think about, okay, yeah, when we get cut off from part of our senses and we're having to adjust, we're probably I'm not going to be the happiest person either if I lose my sensory, sense. My
that
sensory
type
sense.
Of power, your connection with the world, your identity, all of those things.
Yes, your identity. Yeah, but she still wore the ring. She still wore the ring for sure.
So Randy, before you go on, so I just want to throw something onto that because I agree completely. I did not like Moraine this entire season, but I think it's for a slightly different reason. I think as strong as an actress as Rosamund Pike is, I don't think that she gave us anything. It's like she got cut off and she got real sullen and just like she shrunk away into the corner and was real dismissive and pushed everybody away. And I don't think that we got what it meant or what it felt like to be cut off from your identity, from the power, the one power. She just became a Bia. Like and like you said, at that point, I wanted to like her. I wanted to because she was so important. Like she came out swinging in episode 1 of season 1. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You the one that's going to be, the Gandalf. You're going to watch over the kids. But this season, I was just like, listen, she need to go and sit down somewhere. And listen, old girl that had the 2 waters, the 2 boyfriends, I was like, listen, let the Indian chick step on. Yeah, I was like, yeah, come on with it. Like that whole little dynamic was interesting. I was like, all right, they just doing everything on this show.
And I want to definitely like Moraine was just some yin yang and back and forth. I'm just like, Why would you push dude away? Have you
I
seen
was just
him
about to
fight
ask you that
and half
question.
naked?
Right.
What is wrong
I
with
said,
you,
see them
sis?
half
And
naked.
naked. She's
Fight
seen him
and half
naked. She's
naked.
seen
Come
him
on now.
naked.
Yeah, they took
Come on,
baths
sis.
together, right? And so it was
Right.
funny when all the little old ladies was, just gawking at him.
Yeah. There's like, come on, you can be my water. I know.
Right.
Let me holler at you, baby.
One of them
Look.
actually told him he was wearing too much clothes to be training.
Yeah.
Alana, you need 3? That was the joke at the
Listen,
at the
Alana's
lunch
greedy,
table.
girl.
Yeah, they're
She
just looking
greedy.
at her like,
Look,
you so greedy.
I am not mad at a brown woman who says yes to all the things she wants. You know,
Look,
come on.
they just look at her like, you so greedy. Just taking all the men's.
Is there nothing, Alana? Nothing? Oh, well,
And
look who we talking
knowing
to.
that he all this time too, he's gone off of Nynaeve.
Gone. Because that
I
whole
mean-
little scene when we get to it, that was some okay.
Are you asking us that question?
So well, let's talk about the characters from season 1. They all had their arcs for season 2. So let's start with Naive. Is it Nynaeve? Is it
Yeah, Nynaeve.
Nynaeve. So Carla, what did you think about Nynaeve and her whole arc for this
Baby,
season?
listen. I'm not understanding, and it's probably going to come through in like season 3 because it has been season 3 is coming. Because I identify with her more so because I am that kind of a person. Don't try to make me do it like everybody else because my thing generates differently. And she could not get it because they wanted, oh, it has to flow like water. Mine don't flow like water. Okay? It flow like mud. So just leave me alone from doing the thing. And this is how it goes. But because they would not let her do it the way that would motivate her, she was stuck. But her strength and I'm telling you, this baby is a 20-ton megaton bomb that she about to let loose in season 3 because she has this much power, but she is like, it's like a large power, but the hole is this big. It's like it's not able to come out because she's keep trying to do it like everybody else. So when she got to the part where she listened to old girl, did everything, she got there. Do you understand how strong you have to be to have went in there and they said, oh, she ain't come back? You only get it once. She got it more than one time.
Yeah.
So how much power did you have to get a door the second time? And I really felt like when I watched that scene, because I went back and I watched it again, that she was so stuck with, I got to go back here. I got to go back here. I got to go back here. I have to do it this way. I have to do it this way. So with the baby, when she's looking and the door comes and she runs through that door and you can see the blood of where like she had a baby and the baby was gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, that broke. That broke. She still got up and did what she had to do.
Yeah, that was
Her
tough. Came through that.
listen.
With the blood right there, you was like, oh.
And then to get to that part where she did and do what she had to do, she was like, listen, I got to do this. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to get him and just do what we got to do. And still stuck. She is still stuck and trying to do it. I can't do it that way. But the problem is, even though she can't do it that way, she won't do it the way she needs to do it so it can come out. Just do it. And this is not a Nike thing. Just do it.
So do you guys think it was a problem when she left the White Tower? Do you all think she should have stayed or she should have left?
She had to leave. Because if she would not have left, all the stuff that was happening where she was needed to be there, because there are times when you need somebody to waffle. And their waffling, it strengthens the people around them. Like, well, if the strongest person in the room is waffling, we better pick our big girl panties up and we better get this thing done.
I would say.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead, Dayla.
I think to that question, I would agree. I think that part of what this world is asking me to question is the power of the White Tower. And so I think to Carla's point, like, yeah, Nynaeve also has that backstory of like, my wisdom teacher went and was a poor girl from the Two Rivers and walked her way all the way to White Tower, and White Tower turned her away because she looked poor and tattered. So just like addressing, like, you know, it's almost like the Jedis are not as strong as we think because the Jedis have their own bias, and the Jedi, you know, internal things will bring down the Jedi temple. And so I was like, okay, so we're looking at, is this the destruction of the White Tower? Like, is this, why are we entering the story now? Is kind of one of my questions of like, okay, the White Tower has been in power this whole time, but there's a lot of threats. And so we hear the political gaming, but we also see their teaching techniques are messed up, you know, and that really, if these five are connected spiritually, soulfully, as part of that former trio that was Luz and Ishmael and Lanfear, like, that's, you know, that's what I got out of it. So watching that journey of being like, oh yeah, Nynaeve's not gonna go the way she thought. Those aunties gave up too early. They left her.
Right.
And Carla, as you were talking, I was like, I wonder if the new arch appeared because Egwene and the new girl tried to open the arch. And so it made me wonder, like, if part of it is, if their legacy is they are, you know, it's a fellowship of the rings. It's not just the homie of the rings. You know what I mean?
The homie.
So, yeah.
And I like what you said about the threats, because we saw it in season 1. There were definitely internal threats with political shenanigans, and then from the external things that are coming out, and maybe their training techniques are a bit out of date. So, Raquel, I want to jump over to you. I want to talk about Prince. What'd you think about his character arc and his role throughout season 2?
Perrin was interesting because his arc, and you could even tell that at the end of season 1, he seemed completely disconnected from like everything else that's going on. And I don't know, I didn't really like that at first. Like, he seemed like an afterthought, really. Like, everything is going on with Rand, everything, you know, Nynaeve is the second coming of, you know, Egwene is not jealous of her, but she wants that kind of, not necessarily a power, but she wants to be revered in that way. Like, she wants what Nynaeve has, but doesn't want, or whatever. You know, so, and then Matt is Matt. Like, Matt's always, you know, been a con man and been on some other stuff, but he's always been a loyal friend. But when he got corrupted by that dagger, you know, the ugliness in his soul came to the forefront, or whatever, which was interesting to give him a bit of a redemption in this. But Perrin seemed completely disconnected. And I thought it was interesting where they did a thing with Elias, teach him his wolf ways. But again, that was a species that was like, I didn't understand how it tied into the greater, into what else we got going on. So we got all these different groups of people. Well, okay, well, who the wolf people are? Okay, we gonna see some vampires here? Like, you got wolf people. Like, what? We mixing my fantasy now. Like, yeah, I'm confused. I thought I was watching Wheel of Time and it became Underworld. I was like,
I know. Come on, Lycans. Come on, Lycans.
Yeah. So his deal confused me. I mean, I like what they were doing with him, but it confused me and I didn't understand. I did like him getting together with the Aiel girl, who's her and her little tribe of people. They on some warrior stuff, and I like it. I am here for it. Which is interesting enough. The little girl, and I hate to keep calling her little girl because I do not remember her name. I remember they were Aiel, but she was the one in the cage. Do you know that she was the deputy officer in Cocaine Bear?
No, I haven't seen Cocaine Bear yet, so
it's that movie is a train wreck. I couldn't take my eyes off of. I was like, are they for real?
Yeah, we talked
This
about
is-
it on Geek Beats
It's
with
like Sharknado or something.
So the question, so Rakai, Perrin was actually one of my favorite characters. I just didn't think he was fleshed out and developed enough. I wanted to see more of the wolf people, and I wanted to see the prisoner who he let out, because like she was badass. She
Yeah.
opened up a whole can of whoop ass on everybody. So with all those other stories, like we had so many stories going on, we didn't get a chance to build out some of the characters that we had already established in season 1. So those were some of my challenges that I encountered with
Well, like, you know, I like the IEO girl. They let her out. She talked shit. I didn't do anything to the rest of the story except for the fact that he was their partner.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
he
it's just,
also. I
and,
would agree.
and I think that also they kind of discounted the whole trauma of them leaving the Two Rivers. For one, he's the only one, he was married and his wife died. Like, that's a whole nother thing. And it's like,
He killed her, right? He wasn't the one
Yeah.
that killed her.
Yes, he accidentally.
Okay,
killed
so
her.
he killed his wife.
Right, accidentally
Mhm.
trying to
Accidentally.
kill a Trolloc. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
listen,
feel
I
like
think what's not showing up in these shows is a mental health counselor, because
Well, we already know that, because if they
Listen.
would have got Anakin some help, we wouldn't have had all this
Oh my
mess to
goodness.
begin with. He literally went from a slave to a child warrior
sure,
in a matter
for
of
sure.
days. So yeah, if we'd have got him some help,
Yeah.
the whole
and
universe
then
would have been
and
better.
then to a serial killer the next
Right,
minute.
right, yeah. He
Well-
just needed some help.
For sure. Can I say this thing about Perrin? But do we remember that it was this season where it comes up that Perrin's actually in love with Egwene, and there was that really weird like faux triangle of how do we feel, and I'm not going to talk about it, but come here, I'll still shield you from the storm. Like, I'll still be your boy. I'll still roll with you. And so there was something, I felt like they were trying to give us pieces. I will say about Perrin, he's the only one of the 5 who showed up with a squad. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
came, right? He
Yeah.
built a squad as he was coming. He found Loyal. He found, you know.
Not only that, he showed up with the right squad too. Them 3 women he was rolling with, he found what's the name, Achilles and the Spartans. Like, he found it was just 3 of them, and they were 300. They was a crew.
Yeah, they came ready to sweat. Carla, you were trying to say something, so please go ahead and jump in.
I was thinking, like, my thought was the lone wolf type character. Like, because he was becoming more of the wolf that he is, and you see that they hang out, they was kind of new pack, but then they was like a lot of individuality, but they came together as needed. And with what you just said, everybody was lonely with, as far as Perrin doing lone stuff, but as soon as they needed to group up, just like with the wolves, he brought it together and brought it in. Because if you think about it, he was where he was always needed to be when he needed to be to get another pawn on that table.
Yeah, I like Lone Wolf, and that one, the black guy, which I wish we would have got more. He basically said, he was like, "I gotta save my friends." Perrin was saying it. He was like, "They're not your back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the problem I have with it, and this is just my own estimation. With the Lone Wolf, I feel, and I have not read the book, so I don't know where his character arc is going, but I feel like they set him up to be a bad guy. You know, the Lone Wolf thing, you think about it, he's got the trauma of, you know, accidentally killing his wife. You got to think about when old dude, the guard killed his wolf that was with him. He completely flipped out. Yeah. He completely flipped out. And if you remember how Ishmael was talking to him, he was talking to him in a different way than he was even talking to Matt. And Matt had already showed that corruption. So he's like, nah, you just, you know, he talked to Matt more like an addict. But he talked to Perrin like, yeah, you need to come on our team. You know what I'm saying? Let that wolf go. Let that rage inside you go, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You want to be with Egwene, but she's into Rand. That, you know, you can't do that. The wife you did choose, you done messed around and killed her. Like, just go and let it go and join the team.
So he's on some old Palpatine type shit. Like, yeah, come on over to the dark side. We got you.
You saw what happened to him.
Yeah. So, Egwene. So, Daylight, what do you think about Egwene and her story arc for this season?
I mean, I will say Egwene from this story arc, Carly, you said it earlier, like her arc was so powerful. Her Madden, I believe is the actor's name, amazing acting. Once she got into Falm and became the dame to Rena, her Suldam, that whole sequence of Egwene not like, and then having the blue, I forget what they call her, but the other blue,
the blue Aja.
The blue Aja in the next room, that's the one who was whispering to her. Just hear her like name, like, you lasted longer than me. And then just watching the way Egwene was able to react to the fact that she could finally touch the water. Like when she actually touched the water, and then after Rena left and Egwene like had a whole other breakdown about the fact that she had kind of lost something, to see her be able to come back at the end in her arc and be able to put the collar back on Rena, and to have them basically battle and have Egwene be like, this hurts me, but I need to be free.
Yeah,
and so just to watch
kill everybody.
For sure.
If I gotta die, I got to die, but I'm gonna be free.
For sure. So just watching the way, like, and thinking about each of them had their own journey. They tried to give each of the 5 their own journey this season, so they could come into the self that would be there on the top of the tower at the finale. But Egwene, I just felt like, yeah, she don't need a man. She's gonna find the strength. She had to, she tried what she could at the White Tower. She was having her own thing. And then I think there's some really interesting moments of when she and Rena finally link and they burn the tree. It was just really interesting to wonder, like, so does Egwene feel good that she can feel all her magic? Like, so it just made me wonder, like, how she unlocked herself in a way that she also was as powerful or looked to be powerful like Nynaeve. And so just to watch those 2 powerful women have their own arc in a different way, and then to watch Egwene kind of come full circle and be able to escape this collar, to be able to escape that servitude, and to then be able to have enough power to create shield, so that when Ishmael is fighting with, I thought it was like, oh, I think if I could go back and rewatch the season again, there were moments I was picking up on Egwene, but I did not expect her to have that amount of power at the end, because she didn't have, there was so much she wasn't having at the beginning of season 2. If that makes sense.
And here's the thing, like, that whole scene that you said, I got a different meaning out of that scene. When her and Rena burned that tree, Rena picked that tree because that tree meant something to her. That was hope. Like, she stared at that tree every day. And when she burned that tree down, it's almost like, what I'm saying, she was eliminating hope. This is your life now. You are going to be, what's it, a dame, or what it's called, and the fact that even in bondage, even in captivity, the fact that even where she let it go momentarily to grab the boat, grab the water and all that, but even the next time she came, she's like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, it's I ain't let that go. Like, you're not gonna do this to me. And then when she unleashed and she realized, she's like, you are leeching off my power. I'm the one who's got the power. Yeah, she came through. Like, yes, I really, really love what they did with Egwene. And it's funny that, Nynaeve and the princess showed up to save her. Nah, y'all need Egwene to save all y'all.
And the thing with, for me, was she always had that power, but she could only use it in anger. And she tried to be the good one. And so they kept telling her, like, you only do this in anger. And so when she cut baby girl hair, you know how, baby, you know how he is with these locks. She cut her hair. It was some Samson stuff that went through up in his piece. Okay? Because she was like, oh, I ain't got nothing to lose now. You done took the whatever that identity is with this hair, you done cut that off, and now you think, oh, okay, I'm about to show you now. I'm about to show you. The fact that when she was in the cell and she had her up there, she would have said, I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna serve you. I will die. And she knew that. And that's why she let her down. That woman knew in her heart of hearts that she's like, this woman she really gonna kill me. Yeah, she is for real gonna kill me. Let me
I
quit
was her
messing with her.
liberation.
But and when she said, listen, you don't even understand. I know how much pain you're going through because I'm feeling every bit of it. But one of us is going to die tonight.
Or
Mhm.
both of us are gonna die tonight, and I'm just fine with that, right? I'm just fine.
Hey,
To be
Mhm.
free.
fine.
I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
Listen, another character that I liked. She had a short scene. She had some short scenes, but just like Egwene, listen, the yellow Aja who
Mhm.
sacrificed her life to save Nynaeve,
Yes.
and listen,
Mhm.
she
Listen,
went out
sis
like
was
a
on it.
G. Oh my, like, and even I now that scene right there and the way that she played that scene, I felt that pain when she told her water, "Don't let them capture me. Do not let me become a Dame."
Yes.
And
Yes.
Mhm.
and he got killed right before he could.
Yes.
Oh, that hurt my
Mhm.
heart right there. I was like, oh,
Yeah, and
Mhm.
when they were in the house, he was like, "They're coming looking for one of us." Like, I'm
Mhm.
going to give them one. And she went outside, and it was on sight. She opened up a huge
Like,
can, and she was killing. Oh, she was so dope. I need to see more of her. I
hold on,
really
Mhm.
do.
hold on. But here's the thing though, the yellow Ajas, the yellow Aes Sedai,
Mhm.
they are like the healers. That's not what she does. But in the heat of the moment, to do what needed to be done, she transformed. She's a healer. Like Nynaeve would probably fall right into the yellow house or whatever. But she was
Mhm.
a whole warrior when push came to shove. Listen, she
Mhm.
went out like a G.
She did because
listen,
she
she
tells
will
Nani.
pressle you up in a second.
She tells Nani like, "Don't even think about it. Like it's just
Mhm.
a part of you. Just let it flow, and it'll come
Mhm.
Mhm.
to you naturally." So she's been dealing with the one power. She's been channeling it for a while, and she understands it. So I'm gonna just throw it out for the last question, since he's the last one. And he's kind of supposed to be, I guess, the main driver of
Uh,
the story, but I
Well,
don't get it.
yeah, we already
Red,
know where you're going.
like, what do you guys think about Red? And feel free for anybody to go ahead, Daylight.
did anybody have a Anakin Skywalker wannabe moment where he's in the
Uh,
hooded, like the brown thing? I was like, why are you guys doing that? Why are you doing that?
yes.
He even looks like Hayden Christensen. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
doing that? Why are you even making us go there?
As the guy who's supposed to be the main driver of this story, I feel it's like we don't even need him.
Mm-mm.
I get nothing from his
Listen,
character, from the performance of this actor, and I'm not trying to. And I don't know if it's like the bad writing or is he a bad actor. I don't know. I just feel like I don't need him. Whenever he's on the screen, I'm like, oh God, let's get to somebody else.
Well,
I
the
mean,
thing that he was so he's hanging out and throwing it to Lanfear this whole time, the Selena, the barkeep or
Mhm.
whatever. And it's just he seemed, I don't want to even say not naive. He just seemed slow. Like, of all the people you can pick to be the Dragon Reborn,
Right.
you got, what I'm saying? I, I think it's a disservice too. It's like, oh, okay, let's find us a slow, pretty boy to he's nice to look at, but he's about as bright as a box of rocks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
like, why?
Mhm.
And I think the one thing that this show does excellently. So in the time that we've been in for the last, I don't know, 10 years, there's really been a push, especially in Hollywood, and actually they beat us over the head for this woman empowerment movement. And they go out of their way to make strong women characters, even when the woman's not that strong or whatever. They like go out of their way to do it. I think this show pulls off effortlessly because it's part of the dynamic, it's part of the background, and I thought that was really interesting. It's almost like this whole series was perfect for the times that we're in.
Mhm.
But in saying that too, it's easy to see like this ain't the Rand show. This is the Egwene or Nynaeve show, or even
Mhm.
from what I understand from people who read the books, the princess, she's got a huge role coming up here, and she's got some other stuff going on. Like it's about them. Perrin, Matt, Rand, they are day players. They are very, they're not important to the story. And I think it's kind of interesting where it's almost like I want to see who's in a writing room. Like I really want to see who's in a writing room, because now is it men who are adapting this series for TV who don't quite get it? I would be interested to see who is putting this together, because they did whatever Rand was supposed to be. I definitely did not get it this season. Like he's the Dragon Reborn now. He's the the hero in the shadows or whatever, but I got nothing from him. And even when he showed up, like really, Egwene was the one doing all the work. Moraine put the thing in the sky to say, the guys came back, but it's like
you can literally take him out of the show and you wouldn't miss him.
I mean, he did one thing when he showed up. I remember he got pissed and he took out all the white cloaks. That's it. And that was it 30 seconds of screen time?
Yeah.
I don't need Rand at all. So let's talk. Carl, I want to transition over to you because you brought up a little earlier. You talked about our big bad. So I thought we had several in them, or maybe we didn't have any. So I want to ask you, who did you think was the big bad? And do you even think we had one? And did we need one for this series?
So dude was, I really felt like he was supposed to have his hands in all these pies, but it just wasn't feeling the connection. I had to go back and watch. I'm just like, okay, what did I miss? What did you just do? What did and then it's like when they put him back in whatever they put him in, that he didn't die. And he was just alive, but he didn't get that death to get a clean break and then to start afresh. Think like Interview with the Vampire type situation where and then you just go crazy. And so I really felt like he was just so crazy, and then all the fractured pieces was not coming in place together because he just couldn't seem to get his stuff together. Like, you bad, bro. You've been around thousands of years.
Thousands of years at least.
And you running around here like you the newbie on the block. You're supposed to be coming in, shutting stuff down, seeing what's happening. The fact that you all in your feelings about Lanfear and Luz, where is Luz then? Is he dead? Did they put him in the thing too? What is happening? And then when you should have been ruthless, you wasn't. And instead of going out and saying, you know what, I'm the man. Who the man? I'm the man. Let me show you who I am. And by the time, no, you keep going to get other people to do your dirty work. Why you okay? You got the Forsaken. Why you just keep unbuckling them and you not doing the job? You not doing the thing. Right, you got thousands of years of crazy evil power, and you running around here hitting people with rocks. I thought that was just like ridiculous. So, and when he would come on the scene, I'd be like, "Here we go, here we go with this mess." Like, do something or get off the pot. Just matter of fact, just get out the bathroom.
I get it.
Just go somewhere, sit down, because you're not going. Lanfear came in and she was like, "What? Neck broke. What? Say something, drain. You ain't got no mouth." Just coming in, doing the dang thing. He coming in, tiptoeing through the tulips.
So,
and then when it's all over, you're like, good riddance.
What? And you bring up some points. So you identify him as the big bad, but could we kind of say that Dayla? Could we say Lanfear? Was it Lanfear?
Lanfear.
Lanfear. Could she have technically been the big bad? Because she was doing most of the work. Or does the series not have a big bad?
I mean, I think the big bad is the looming dark one who we never meet. And so who we have not met yet. And I feel like, yeah, Ishmael is like, oh, Perrin, as soon as you become more wolf, you're already on the dark side, right? Like, so I feel like in this conversation, it's helped me to realize, right, they haven't ordered for us what the magical hierarchy is in this universe and where all the Ajas fit in versus like where the wolves fit in versus where these other powers fit in. So I do think there's a larger, bigger bad to come. I think Lanfear would have been the big bad, except all of a sudden then at the end she got all mushy and was like loving on Rand and loving on everybody else, and then decided to like turn. She was turning on she decided to turn on Rand and like, you know, watch from afar and watch him like ascend to become the dragon. Like, so kind of was this weird, like, okay, so Maleficent's not evil. And like she fell in love. And oh no, like now Rand has to choose between Egwene and Lanfear. And then there was no choice. So I think she was a little bit of the big bad. I also think these reveals, like the murder of Leandrin's son, and even the turn from what's it called, nephew, Moraine's nephew, turning out to be, you know, evil twisty number 3. I was like, okay, so I get twists and turns. I also thought that Moraine's sister turning on her son and having him executed, like, so I think the big bad was kind of spread out of this amorphous evil coming, but it's not really one. Yeah, I'm like, it's not one.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I didn't think we had one big bad. I thought we had a series of people. So we're coming to you, man. It's 8 episodes. They run, like I said, they run an hour and 8 minutes strong. Was this sufficient time to tell this story that we got? Do we need fewer? Do we need more? What are your thoughts?
We needed a couple of more, and we needed to move some stuff around because you were pinging people at us, ping, and then you know, we dodged it like, who was that? Wait, who was she? Like, let me play. I got to play this back. What is happening? What? And then you know, everybody just come in, and you know, and the fighting. I swear, I thought that old White Cloak, Egwene had killed Dode, and then he popped back up. I'm like, what?
Oh, Vanda child, child Vanda. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ricardo, what about you? You think there's 8 episodes, 1 hour, 8 minutes, or was this sufficient? Did we need more? Did we need less? What are your thoughts?
You know, the thing is, it's hard for me to say because I think this. I liked this season too. I liked it more than season 1, but it was convoluted, and I think having a couple more episodes would have spaced some stuff. I mean, but I don't know, just judging by the writing and the pacing of this one, they'd have given us 2 more episodes and crammed some more crap in there and still not explain nothing for us. Like, you just like, oh, hold on, he just wrote this book last week. Let's throw some pieces from that book in there. Like, I think I don't know, because I think with this season, the one thing I have a big problem with on our previous point, I don't know who the big bad was. If the big bad is the Dark One, Leandrin has turned to the Dark One. She's betrayed the White Tower. And Leandrin is not by herself. There are a number of Aja in the White Tower that are with her, that are serving the Dark One, just like Moraine's nephew. There's a whole network of them, and that's, you know, the spy system from within that's going to tear down the White Tower. The problem is, if this is Sauron, if we are supposed to be afraid of Sauron, we're supposed to be afraid of Voldemort, he who shall not be named. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't feel like, I mean, Harry Potter is a series for little kids, and you got the feeling of, you know what I'm saying, Voldemort ain't to be messed with, and, you know what I'm saying, it's a problem. Sauron, you know, they was always in fear of him coming back, and it's a problem. This Dark One, I didn't. Hey,
am I supposed to be scared of him? And I agree. I think we all kind of pointed out, like, there really wasn't a big bad in this series. So yeah, I agree with you. So let's go ahead and re-rate it. So let's start with you, ma'am. How are you going to re-rate Wheel of Time season 2?
I'm gonna change to a full meal, because I'm thinking about how, you know, even the map of Game of Thrones at least helps you navigate where everybody lives and where they're from. And the White Cloaks are battling the Dark One, and so are the folks that we meet in Falm, but they are fighting each other. Everybody seems to be fighting. So I really like it. I think it's awesome, but I'm gonna go down to a full meal.
Down to a full meal. All right, Ricard, what about you? How are you gonna re-rate it? Uh-oh.
What was my rating? Did I give it a full
You
meal?
gave full
You
meal.
get a full meal.
Yeah, nah, bro. Mm-mm.
Are you
Nah,
taking it down?
we are definitely mini meal on this. We almost a snack, my guy. Like, and it's funny that my rating is going down when I liked it, but I don't know. I have to see what they do in season 3. They got to do something. Man,
Okay. So you're gonna go midi meal? All right.
yeah.
Carla, what about you? How you gonna re-rate it? Now you don't
It
have
is
to change it. You don't have to,
it
but
is still binge worthy to me.
all right.
I mean, you might have to binge it a couple of times but I feel it's still binge worthy.
Okay, bench worthy. And I'm gonna keep mine at the same. There's some good points in here, right? There's some good stuff that I liked, and then there's some points I'm like, eh. I just think the execution, it got a little too convoluted. It was all these characters, and it wasn't that it didn't provide backstory, because I'm fine with that. I don't like a lot of backstory. I didn't necessarily understand the motivations of all these additional characters that we got. So that kind of tainted it a little bit for me. If they could clean that up with some execution thing and focus more on the core group, and we don't have to have all these people out there, I think they could turn us around. If you didn't feel like if you felt like there was a problem, so I'm gonna keep mine at a mini meal. So, all right. So I gotta do the numbers again. So Daylight, you took it to a full meal. Rakai, you took it to a mini meal.
Mini meal.
I was about to call you Courtney. Carla, you kept it at a binge worthy, and I'm gonna keep mine at a mini meal. So we got, let's go 15, 4 of us. It's 3.75. If we round that up, that's gonna take us to a full meal too. So it's kind of the same thing. We're at a full meal. So that's what it is, Benjis. We are giving Wheel of Time season 2 a full meal. Rakai, you got anything to say before we head out, sir?
I don't know. This was an interesting talk. Welcome to the team, Carla. Again, welcome. You're already family, Dayla. So this was interesting. Talking about this series. I'm looking forward to next week. So,
Carla, you got anything to say before we head out, man?
I enjoyed it. I'm so glad you called me because I'm trying to get over this. You hear it all in my voice and yeah, but this was fun. I do have some questions when we start running though.
All right. Miss Daylight, you got anything to say before we head out, man?
For sure. Super fun. I do want to give a shout out to Rima. That's the yellow Aja who we all are fans of. I looked it up. And just to say, yeah, I'm full meal for sure, and so excited for season 3. Like, I really want to see where they go. And always a great time here on BingeWorthy. So thank you always. Thank you. I'm so happy to be in the family. Like, I love y'all.
You're the family now. You're the family now. Until you echo your sentiment, I do want to see a season 3. I do want to see where they're going to take this off. Even though I gave it a mini meal, I still am excited about watching a season 3. Okay. All right. So shouts out to Digital Click. Digital Click, they provide our boardings and our artwork and all of those things. If you are looking for marketing or promotional activities, consider hiring Digital Click. They are dope. Also, shouts out to our technical director, Rodney. Rodney's like a mad genius behind the scenes with the transitions, and he puts up all the graphics and all of those things. So shouts out to him. And the Geekish Network. We are a network with BIPOC people. We are for minorities and different cultures. We have people in front of the camera. We have people behind the camera. And we do this to create amazing content for people who look like you. We, people of different cultures and backgrounds, BIPOC people, we're into this world too. We are into sci-fi, we're into fantasy, we're into all of these things. And so consider supporting us because as you can see, we create dope content. Next week, we are going to do season 1, Gen V, another Amazon Prime video. This is a spinoff of The Boys. So if you've ever watched The Boys, I haven't started it yet. If you've ever watched The Boys, this is a spinoff. So consider coming back and joining us. 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and 8 o'clock Pacific Time. And if you're someplace in between them, you figure it out on your own. So come back and join us us next week after Geek Beast. Same geek time, same geek channel. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.